Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chef's Meal, where we talk about whatever and never and everything else in between. Here we go. Actually, you know what? Let's just do it a cappella. so I can, so I could add it. I could add it later, just in case. But well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream. My name is Casey.
My name is Sean, and we're two chefs talking about our lives, one finished plate at a time.
And we talk about whatever and ever
and everything in between.
We are live on Facebook tonight. It is a Saturday. Hopefully your weekends are doing pretty well. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. You can check out our channels and also the email. Sean, how are you doing today? And I see you're sporting a new hairdo.
I'm doing all right. Yeah. You do see a new hairdo. Much to my wife's enjoyment, I had to let go of the struggle cut.
Nani? Why?
Yeah. Nani is right. I mean, through no fault of my own, and I'm not gonna blame it on Corona.
Okay.
I just hadn't cut my hair since like February.
But did you cut it? Did you cut it?
So okay, I was doing. Well, okay, good question. So I was like doing like kind of like a frohawk on the sides while I was in the house and shaping myself up a bit, but I hadn't been to a barber since pretty much I want to say since Valentine's Day.
Oh wow!
Like that was like the last time I remember like going. I mean, maybe there might have been a trip shortly thereafter, but I know for sure I didn't go in March at all, and then hadn't gone since
whenever. But you did go to the barber because it looked like it's faded nice.
Oh yeah. I went. Yeah. So a couple of days ago, I went to like the local supermarket, and my barber's like right across the street, and so I pull up and I park, and I saw him in there with another barber, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go in there. Let me get this cut. Let me get right. I don't know when I'll be going back to work, but let me feel like, I'm myself again. And again, being in the house with the wife and the kid, she's looking at my hair like, Sean, what are you doing? She's like, I don't like this. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. She's like, no, it's not. Like, you gotta get yourself.
Did you get a full
ready.
shape up too?
So, yeah. They did the lines. This is, I don't know, a little bit more than a week now since I went and got a cut. But yeah, they did the lines, and I just been maintaining it with like the clippers again. And sure enough, maybe in another couple of days I'll go and, get my ears lowered, so to speak.
I still haven't gotten a haircut.
Yeah.
I'm like 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
My wife is like, she reaches to the back of my head. She's like, what's this?
Yeah. I mean, I noticed too. So again, I would like nervously play in my hair, twist it up, and she's like, "Okay, so you're doing like, I don't know if you guys know what it is, but there's like a foam brush, and depending on the texture of your hair, you can add like a little bit of product after like washing your hair, and you can kind of foam in curls." So I was doing that, and she's like, "All right, so you're past that point, like." It's like, what are you trying to do? Are you gonna like, get cornrows? Are you gonna just continue to just blow and pick your hair out, and get like a thick fro? Like, are you like, what are you doing? And I'm like, you know what? I don't know.
I've never seen you in cornrows. From the very beginning. I think that'd be pretty cool. I said I've never seen you in cornrows, so I think that'd be pretty cool.
Nah, man, it's never been like that. I don't know. Usually I'm gonna cut at least every 2 weeks, and then depending on what was going on in my life, especially before I had a kid, I would do like a haircut 1 week, shape up the next haircut, like just keep it low and tight and looking all right. But these are unprecedented times, so I was just letting it go.
So I got some news for you, Sean. So you know how like I mentioned to you, I still haven't received anything from the government on my unemployment just yet. I called. I got through Trenton. They told me somebody's gonna call me back. I haven't received that. That's about 3 weeks ago now. And I actually went last week, or not this week, Wednesday, to the unemployment center here in New Jersey, in Hackensack, and it says closed. They're not serving the center there. I was like, oh, Okay. So I don't know where's another one. I'm pretty sure I can look it up, but I can only assume that the next town would be like Newark. And I was like, I'm not gonna go all the way down Newark. Just
I mean, it's major bread for your hassle. So
Yeah.
I
So-
mean, if you got a day off, go handle your business.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was just talking to V about this today, and I was under the impression that they had already like kind of rectified it, because I know you did say that someone would be reaching out to you, and we
Yeah.
hadn't really followed back up on it. So I figured they had to call my boy and
Yeah.
situated things for him. But apparently they haven't.
Have not.
And that sucks, man.
It really
sucks.
However, that paycheck from that country club first came in last Friday, and that pretty much I was like, okay, got some funds,
Okay.
can take care of some stuff.
Right. Sure.
That's
Take a little pressure off the top.
Definitely is, but I'm still behind. I don't like seeing that I owe stuff. I've never owed anything past 5,000, and I'm over 8, just on bills alone, because I didn't receive anything since March. So.
Sure. I mean, I know it's not much consolation to you, but obviously you're not alone.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
You are not alone. So, I would assume that if your financial history is sound, you are gonna be in a slightly better place with some of your outstanding debts. When talking to the companies about making payments and making arrangements. And hopefully said you can count on those funds from the state trickling in sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
so
I'll
you
definitely
can get back on top of your game.
I was telling my wife, it's one of those, I'll take it on the chin for now. Like I'll take the credit increase, like the percentage fee for the time being. Like it is what it is. But I know I'm not the only one that's in this position. There's thousands of people, millions even in the whole state, in the whole country.
Millions in the country.
That's also in the same predicament. So we're not alone.
Yeah. Nope.
We're trying, but obviously it's still a little busy. So for everybody else, I know I'm kind of nonchalant, just kind of mentioning it like every other week or so. There is hope. It might just take a little bit. Just be patient, and hopefully we'll get our due. Is that our due? Yeah. Other than that, I'm not too crazy. The country club is faring to be a little hectic, let's just say.
Okay. Sure.
Let me give you an example. Yesterday, so new menu, we switched out. Chef switched out. It's like 90% saute now, which is my side. A lot of pastas going on, and a lot of other mise en place that I have to fuck with, which I don't. It is what it is. Different thing altogether. But the thing that really concerns me is I don't have a low boy, Sean. I don't have like a cold top that I can, like a drawer that I can pull stuff from. Everything is
what
in
are you
like
doing?
Everything is in a reach-in, like a little fridge with a drawer, with a door. And every time I open it, obviously it goes warmer, and then you got to open stuff. And I compensate by having a little, like 9 pants on a line with ice, but then that will, in like 3 hours, you got to replace the ice. So, and I'm just like, what is the best way to go about this? There really isn't. So I just have to chin up. You got to do what I can do to keep the food cold, or the holding cold, that's hot holding hot, and then just kind of do service. However, last night
I have a question for you, and maybe this might be a little too inside baseball, but given those concerns that you have about like maintaining the right temperatures, it seems like you're doing what you got to do, because you said 3 hours, which was key.
Yeah.
Like, how do you guys actively manage those temperatures around the kitchen? Do you have is there a system in place, or is this something that you're going to be doing? Okay.
Nope.
Like I said, I'll leave it as such.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm monitoring for my own sake, and I'm kind of bleeding over to everybody's like, hey, that's not hot enough. Hey, this needs to be colder. Can you switch that ice? I'm not part of management yet. I can't necessarily say that. They have a different aspect to stuff, but there's processes and things that we need to be standard on, which is anything below 40, everything above 145 if you're hot holding, right? So those are the two temperatures that we need to maintain at all times. So just a watchful eye. Being in management for so long, it's the same thing. But they do old school procedures that are completely fine. But in current stuff, that's not gonna pass on any other mainstream. Like if you went to like McDonald's and you see stuff sitting there, you can't do that. You can't hold it like that anymore. But you can on a steakhouse. Like steaks just kind of sitting room temp, so it cooks better, it sears nicer, and then it goes out the window. There's no such thing as that in corporate, or it's just a different flow, different processes, and there's so much food.
Sure.
There's so much stuff. There's so much premium stuff that just gets shoved out, and I'm just like, what are we doing? What is food cost? What is going on? Yeah, but I think the largest hump at this restaurant is the front of house staff do not know how to bring in food, like at all. It is insane. They don't know the menu, and I've kind of repeatedly been saying this to chef. They don't know the menu. They're not trained. They don't know how to do the little micro system. It's not even micros. It's like Jonesin or something. It's like the older stuff, and that just messes them up. And then the kitchen will always push out the food, but if they mess up there, we can't do anything. So we ended up making things 3 or 4 times. But yeah, I think it's one day at a time. Let's get there one day at a time. Let's make little things a little better. Let's control what we can control, and then keep on getting better as we go. But yeah, man, that is the country club life. That's all I'm gonna say. Nothing too crazy. I'm only off one day, so I've been working 6 hours. 6 days rather, and 13 hours pretty much in the restaurant, and then an hour. So I'm tired.
I'm sure, man. I'm sure. I'm
beats.
sure, man. Like I, tell you off air, man. Get your rest.
Yeah.
Don't let your, because it will get you.
It will get you.
I know you're glad to be back at work, and you obviously got things to accomplish inside those 4 walls and inside your own home. But man, the time you get to spend out there is the real time. Yeah. So rest up.
Rest and sleep. They think it's funny.
Say hug and kiss your wife. Yeah. Like make sure you got some time for her, some energy.
They think it's funny that I keep saying, like when I say goodbye, I always say this to you too, get some sleep. And then we pound
all the time,
because you never know when you get sleep. Get some sleep. They think it's hilarious that I say that. They're like, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead. It's like, that's not really healthy. Just
bro.
Sleep. Just
that ain't sleep. Yeah, that's the end of the story, man. Like, man, you want to be able to write some chapters.
Yeah. Get some rest. Get some sleep. It might sound funny to you, but I'm really saying that from my heart. Get some sleep. Just rest your head. Do something that will take you out the zone. Get some sleep, because the restaurant business is just a whole slew of everything else. You don't need that in your life, away from the restaurant. But Sean, are you ready for your Tech Tuesday, Sean?
Yeah, I'm ready for my Tech Tuesday.
I would play the soundbite right here, but obviously, just pretend that it's going. And then Tech Tuesday, Sean, take it away on a Saturday. God.
Yeah, this is Tech Tuesday on a Saturday, not a Tuesday or a Thursday, but a Saturday this time. And I got a question for you, Casey. Ooh. I know, obviously you've been working a billion hours, 6 days a week, so maybe you haven't had time to hear about this product.
Ooh,
but have you ever heard of a company called Big Ass Fans?
Wait, is that for real? Big Ass Fans. Can I type that in?
Big Ass Fans.
Okay, it's for everybody right now.
I think you can Google it.
Actually
safe search on, maybe. Because
that's okay.
You might find some fans of some big asses, and it might be a little bit different.
We don't want
than what I'm trying to mention right now.
Is this it right here?
Yeah, that's the company, Big Ass Fans, and they are going to introduce fans that might help fight against the coronavirus.
No.
Yeah, they are. They have these giant room scale ceiling fans that have UV lights in them that can, treat a room to 99% of a room's airborne pathogens in just a few minutes. Yeah,
that is ridiculous.
So they're doing their trials with the virus that causes COVID-19, and it's something again that could be out there and implemented into homes and businesses, in a relatively inobtrusive way that might be helping make things a bit healthier for everyone involved.
What a name, huh? This is like a big target, right?
I was like, the SEO on that, man. Again, like, look, make sure you check your cookies. And
killing up to 99.9% of harmful pathogens of your space. Wow. Hey.
Yeah.
With UV technology, I mean, I'm interested. Would you get something hulky like that above your head, dude?
Look, man, yes. Like it's not even look. Maybe I'm not getting that big ass fan, but maybe they're gonna have a small ass fan.
Got it.
Maybe
inches.
They dropped a patent that gets them in all sorts of air circulation environments. I mean, shit. If I were a car company, like I would love to have a big ass fan. Powering the air conditioning and the HVAC system of
that is true.
My 2021 vehicle or 2022 vehicles. I mean,
wow,
it's interesting to see how some of the best and brightest minds are utilizing the technology that they produce to solve for these very, very real issues. And maybe it's not going to be big ass fans. I mean, I kind of picked it because the name is
medium ass fans will be the next.
Medium ass fans, but hey, it's another look.
Oh my goodness! No, I've never heard of it. It's interesting.
And I would say from the company that I work for and the company that you used to work for, that they go out of their way to install UV systems to help deal with other issues in the in the kitchen and in the environment to kind of catch things before they can spread. So
that's definitely something. Yeah, that's definitely something that they literally would buy to get it. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, shout out to Ecolab.
Yeah, shout out to Ecolab. We also use Ecolab. Oh,
okay.
I think it's pretty standard for all kitchens to use.
Yeah.
It's like hand in hand.
Shout out to Ecolab. Make sure you have if you're in the restaurant business, make sure you have a good working relationship with Ecolab. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure their bills are paid.
We have that rent dish machine from Ecolab.
Okay.
It is the greatest thing. Like,
dude,
it broke
they'll
down.
Come out and
it broke down Friday last week. Called them up.
Mm-hmm.
It came in. Boom. Up again. I was like, why couldn't we get that when we were working at the fucking road? Wait, different.
Well,
different
hey,
story.
we got one. I'm just
different story.
We got one
together, but
different story, different objectives, but sure, yeah. Said, man, you want a good relationship with your Ecolab rep.
Way to go,
so when you're making that call, you're a little bit higher up on their to-do list. Because whenever you're for all those who are not in the business, I mean, Ecolab does like a lot of different things. Like they do pest control, they do dishwashers, they do like chemical delivery. So hey, if any of those systems fail, you need to reach out to them to handle it. Because without those systems, you can't operate your business.
Correct.
So yeah, man. Shout out to Ecolab. That's what I got.
Yeah, there you go. Ecolab.
And then the my last thing for Tech Tuesday. Again, another question to you is, what have you been playing, man? Like, I know, like, obviously you've been working, but in the margins, man, like, what games have you been playing?
Yo, did you see me playing the other day? I know you saw me log in for a second.
I saw you log into Tsushima, but I didn't ask you about it before.
Can I just say something? Like, this game is so intense. Here, let me pull it up on the big screen real quick. While the ad is kind of playing. I'm pretty sure you can hear this and everybody else, but I can't hear it. So, Ghost of Tsushima, in my opinion, game of the year. They're definitely going to win it. The only thing that's holding you back, and a lot of people will say this to you too. Before I do, we'll just play back. Um, the camera sometimes there's an action in there called standoff, and I'm not necessarily like taking the game away from you whenever you do play it. Standoff, literally you stand off with your opponent, and the camera goes all to cinema mode, like the bars come down, your cinematic, and then he does like a little strike to kill the opponent.
Okay.
When that happens, a slow-mo happens.
Like old samurai movies.
Like old samurai movies, right? Slow-mo happens, and sometimes the camera will pan wrongly. And like if it's behind like a tree, then you can't see. And you're like,
oh no.
Literally, it's literally.
And you got to make like a split second decision based upon not getting some crucial information.
And
gotcha.
Your boy plays at the most hardest difficulty, so
of course,
one hit, I'm dead.
I remember watching your streams of some of the other stuff, like Sekiro, and I'm just like, yo, like, I just want to have fun, man. I just want to get in there and feel like a boss.
I like the pain.
Get out. I know you just like to bash your head up against the wall, and
I like the pain. So let's get to a little bit of footage, and these are actual footage. Like I've seen the trailer preview. They didn't necessarily they didn't cut this. This is straight from video game, and you're seeing this all live.
On a PS4 Pro.
These are all live. These are the same scenes I watched. The detail to the video is so good, and the storytelling and everything else, and just the way it plays, it reminds me literally of Witcher 3, but a little better.
Okay.
A little better on the movements and the camera wise. All of this straight up in camera. This one's a little different. This is like the actual trailer that you'll see, so they're not in battle. But let me see. This little opening tactic right here. This is all played in it. And you're living this. This is like the first 10 minutes of the game right here. Just phenomenal gameplay. A lot of good things. So that's what I've been playing. Ghost of Tsushima. When I can play, I'll play. But I still take care of business. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Nothing else. I'm waiting for Cyberpunk.
Okay. Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Gotcha.
Is the game. Hopefully it beats it.
I mean, for me in these last couple of weeks, I'm like really, really late to the Nintendo Switch party. So I've been playing Mario Kart. Been playing Mario Odyssey.
Oh, so good.
Played a little bit of Splatoon. Like that's a game that I don't know if people are familiar with what the game is, but
Splatoon is so classic.
It's like a multiplayer shooter. And it's kind of, I want to say it's like geared at like families. You're not really shooting bullets at each other, but it's like all of the characters have paint guns, and to win a match, you can shoot at your opponents and knock them out or kill them. I mean, I don't think you really kill them. You kind of just incapacitate them for the time. But most of the game is like trying to spray as much of your paint in the environment before the time runs out. And obviously there are different guns or different weapons and ways to kind of do that. I mean, like your default is like almost like a water pistol. There are like things like paintbrushes that can cover a bigger surface area, but might be a little bit harder to line up on your opponents. I like the game. I am not good at it, and despite the fact that I think I'm pretty good at most shooters, I mean, it's kind of the issue is like the game's probably been out for like 3 or 4 years, and I'm just starting out now.
It's so
but
good.
it looks awesome. It's very colorful. The characters are cool. It has like Nintendo's charm and artistry, which I think is like a lot of companies just really can't match that. But damn if I don't suck at that game.
Splatoon is
just
so
immediately
classic.
just get my ass kicked.
Yeah, Splatoon is pretty classic. Splatoon 2 also, the other one, it's kind of not as immersive, but like it's just a little bit bigger. But she's also in Smash Brothers, that character. I forget her name.
Yeah, the little inklings. Like they have the characters in Mario Kart. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. I mean, as a new to the Switch platform, I think it's really interesting. I mean, I like that You can use it as a handheld and then kind
Yeah.
of snap it into the dock and immediately be playing on your TV. Like the controllers disconnect from the side of the system, and you can use them both independently or
Yeah.
use them together. Since I wanted to have like another controller, but I didn't want to buy one, I ended up buying this adapter. It's called the 8-bit dough, and it's kind of shaped like a Mario brick. It's a USB adapter. Ooh. Hey man, my mic switch just fell over. It plugs into one of the USB ports, and with it, you can use any Bluetooth controller as a Switch controller. So I tried it using a PlayStation 4 controller, which was pretty good, but I've kind of settled in on using like the Xbox controller because it's a little bit bigger in my hands. But yeah, it works, and yeah, like the Switch is a quality console. I know
really
you have
is.
one.
It's pretty good.
I think it couldn't be my primary, but as like a secondary game console, like it just works.
It's good if you're on the go. That's what I'm gonna say to it. Like if you want to take a full blown video game with you, without the hassle of the whole wires and everything, Switch kills it out the market. Even I forget what the PlayStation version was years before.
The Vita, I had
kind of the same thing. I think we had the Final Fantasy game for it at one point. It was okay, but like it wasn't the same level when Nintendo just killed it out of the park. But Splatoon really reminds me of Ratchet and Clank if you've ever played it.
Yeah, like I said, it has that kind of CG, very oversaturated with the colors. And again, one thing I'll say about Nintendo is like when they invest in an IP or for a game, they like really like flesh out the universe. Like
really do.
That game doesn't really look like anything, but it plays like it plays like a shooter. And I think Nintendo probably wanted to have a game that competes in that space, but still serves like their customers, which are targeted at families. I mean, I know that the Switch platform has more mature and gory games if you want them, but I don't know. I was really interested in the system for the titles that Nintendo produces. So my goal is when I finish Mario Odyssey, like I'll sell it on eBay and then I'll pick up the Zelda game.
Yeah. Oh my God!
Slowly make my way through that because like I didn't have a Wii U, so I missed out on a lot of those classic titles, and some of them have been re-released for the Switch.
Yeah.
So
you don't need it. The Switch is fine. Yeah. Once you play on the Switch, you won't even miss the Wii. Not a big deal. But definitely Breath of the Wild. When you get a chance, play that game. So good. I finished it in one go. I didn't really. It's not like I'm not a big Zelda. I'm not a big Zelda guy, but I dig the story behind it. So and it's RPG, so it's like one of my favorite kind of types of video games. So I obviously played it, but I just didn't get into it as much as I did as Final Fantasy when I first played it. But yeah, that's what we've been playing on. Too crazy. I'm also waiting for 2K21 when that finally comes out.
Oh yeah, man, 2K21. It's a month out.
Yep.
Literally, I think it's the September 4th. For the current gen version, and then sometime in November for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X versions. Honestly, as much as I'm like definitely the type to get like 2K on the first day, I'm not sure if I will.
I'm not, because I'm gonna wait.
They'll still be playing because of Corona. I mean, they'll still be playing the current season when the new game comes out. Yeah, so it'll kind of be redundant, at least in terms of rosters and all that stuff. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna hold out a bit and then pick it up in time for whenever the NBA
picks up back again.
Starts the next season.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait also when I get the PS5 finally, because I don't think I'm gonna get it for PS4. The graphics are, like I said, it's like should I buy for this system or should I wait? I'm definitely gonna wait. I have a PC, so if anything, we just play it over here. But also looking forward to Fable, which will be on Game Pass.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Game Pass.
Oh my God, shout out to Game Pass.
She was just downloading some stuff on Game Pass as we speak. A game called The Tourist, which I will be able to talk more about maybe in the coming weeks.
Cool.
I'll find time to play a bit on the PC.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Are we ready for some food news, Sean? Not too.
You know I am.
Not too
It's
much.
my favorite part of the show.
So check this out, right? Like I said, COVID pandemic kind of region. We are all trying to adjust. However, this is like the new standard for us now. Okay, people just need to get with it. Wear masks. I don't care what you believe. Just this is for the sake of all of us. Okay, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, but it prohibits the transfer of your pathogens, which exist right here.
You just gotta be bigger. If you're uncomfortable, you gotta be bigger than that. There's a lot of things that make you uncomfortable. You ever show up to the movies late, and then there's just one seat in the middle of the aisle, and then you gotta like rub your booty on everyone's popcorn as you make your way to that one seat. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for you. Yeah. It's uncomfortable for them. But how you gonna see the movie?
Exactly.
Put on your mask. That's all I'm saying.
Dig it.
Just put it on. Wash your hands.
The food is always remarkable. We will always keep on getting better, and even though in pandemic there will still be new things that's happening. So Pizza Hut's a new double it box comes with 2 mini pizzas, so there's plenty to share. So check this out. I don't want to say I've never. In the Philippines, the only pizza that I know came from Pizza Hut. There was no other pizza joints. So this for me when I came over to the States. My mother was like, "Oh, we'll get some pizza." I was like, "Okay, great, we're getting some pizza." She's like, "No," and this was when we were in New York. She's like, "No, we're getting a slice down the block."
Right.
I was like, "What?" And it's all thin, and then you could fold it. Changed my whole brain altogether. But pizza was a big thing for us. But this one is brought back its iconic Big Dipper pizza, which is one pizza with 24 pieces and 4 dipping sauces, but a double it box is only $13. Sean, how do you feel about this? I know you're a pizza guy.
I think it's interesting. Yeah, I am a pizza guy, and honestly, it's like too many Sicilians. It looks like it kind of reminds me, and I'm gonna ask you because you said Pizza Hut, or rather, Pizza Hut was a thing in the Philippines. Did you guys have the Bigfoot pizza?
No.
Okay,
not
so
when I was there.
the Bigfoot, I don't know if you can look it up, but like actually. The Bigfoot pizza was a Pizza Hut promotion, maybe for like a year or two, and it was like a super long.
Is it this one?
A super long, like Sicilian, yeah.
Let's check it out. 2012. Oh, this is their like commercial for it ish.
Yes, but it was definitely like the mid 90s.
Oh yeah.
Like I want to say Bigfoot pizza was before I was in high school. Yeah, you see,
right?
It was like the cake, like a sheet cake of pizza.
Oh wow, it's like literally a sheet tray.
Right. So wow. and if you imagine, like I'm sure the box for the Bigfoot pizza is probably the inspiration for the box for this pizza that they're selling. I mean, it looks roughly the same size.
It kind of does, yeah.
9.
Yeah, 1, maybe 2, like 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 by
18 slices.
18 slices, yep.
Yes. So yeah.
Wow.
It's not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it.
Shout out to Pizza Hut, man. Pizza Hut was definitely something. I mean, Pizza Hut in my brain, like I think of video games when I think of Pizza Hut.
Okay.
Yeah, like Pizza Hut's always had like Neo Geo arcade cabinets.
Makes sense.
Next to their
that makes sense.
Salad buffets. Pizza Hut was one of the companies that they used to do promotions where they would drop PlayStation 1 demo discs.
Oh, wow.
If you bought like a certain size pizza. Like in my brain, Pizza Hut is video games.
I dig it. Starbucks is selling a new salted caramel mocha coffee creamer. That's a mouthful. This fall, so prepare to feel warm and fuzzy. Sean, I know the marketing is already going. We are first week of August. Next week is mid-August already. Fall is gonna go like this for everybody else in the restaurant world. Everybody else in the food selling business, pumpkin spice, salted caramels, literally will be flooded everywhere because that's how the normalcy is. But this time it's going to be available as a creamer Does you or your wife frequent the Starbucks? I know my wife will love this. I'm gonna get her a couple of this.
So
Wow, look
we
at that.
don't anymore.
Okay,
We don't anymore.
heard.
But my wife used to love to go to Starbucks, and Starbucks broke her heart due to some stuff that happened in Philly. But we're not gonna get into that.
Okay.
But yeah, we don't go to Starbucks
Heard.
anymore.
So you want to talk about it later?
Hey, you know what?
It's okay.
You know, people make choices.
Okay.
They chose wrong. So, I guess we at Dunkin' Donuts house right now.
Now, this isn't really a food news, but I thought it was hilarious. This Nightmare Before Christmas, Chia Pet lets you grow Jack Skellington. Like, what is going
It's
on?
dope, but Jack Skeleton ain't got no, even in the picture he doesn't have hair. Chia, what are you doing? Like, why did they could have done it where like you got like the chia plant grows where his eyes and nose and stitchy mouth is.
See
like
that?
it would still be wrong, but now Jack Skellington looks like your creepy uncle with a toupee.
Yeah, it's a little. I don't know. I don't feel. I feel uncomfortable now.
This is like midlife crisis. Jack Skellington. He's got a Camaro and he wants to tell you about it.
So check this out. Toxic chemicals may be used in packaging for Big Macs and Whoppers. Study finds. Now, again.
Right. Study finds that they're actually the toxic chemicals are the Big Macs and Whoppers.
So before we get into a whole bunch of slews, let me just update our listeners. We are live, right? Every week. You can find our stuff on YouTube. You can tweet Sean. You can give us an email. However, for food-related news, okay, this is how the industry happens. If per se, for back then, actually, let me explain it this way. Back then, we used to make houses with asbestos. We didn't know any better, right? It was a great piece of material. It lasts a crazy long time. It stands up to the rest of the time. However, 20, 30 years later, what happened, Sean? Asbestos poisoning, right?
Oh yeah, I mean,
or cancer.
Yeah, lots of
deaths.
You used to be able to go
Concern
to
for it?
the shoe store and get an X-ray. No lead screening because they thought that like if they X-rayed your foot, it would be best for sizing.
Same exact thing for food. That's why the food industry is a lot more intense. Every week, every day, they're always constantly testing, always trying to control things so we don't find or we don't consume, aka some of these things. So specifically, the findings uncovered by PFAS or I'm not even gonna pronounce that.
Polyfluoroalkyl.
There you go. Thank you. Substances. What a study found, PFAS in food packaging. The chemicals are also found in other consumer products which never go near your mouth, such as carpeting and drapes. So there, like I said, don't get too alarmed. Like McDonald's and Big Mac and everything, they will. This is like as soon as they found out, I can guarantee you the next day, everybody toss that stuff out, new stuff comes in. Okay, but as per food guidelines and everywhere else, no matter what state you are, no matter what country you are, they have to report it. So that's what we're doing. Okay, do not get alarmed. Hopefully none of you got sick. Don't pretend that you got.
I mean, I would assume if you're part of these burger conglomerates and you're selling billions of burgers, you're trying to figure out what's cheaper than paper to wrap your shit in.
Same shit. Okay, so just to let you know, you can ask your friendly neighborhood Burger King and McDonald's if they're still using the old wrappers, and I can pretty much assure you that they might say, no, we did not. We've thrown it out. They had toxic chemicals in it. We're using a new one, etc. They might even give you the whole spiel. But just to let you, I don't want to like alarm too many people and be like, oh my god, we're gonna die. I need to call. Don't do that. Okay, don't go crazy.
So what you need to do is go into your McDonald's or Burger King and ask them to blend down your burger and put it in a cup and give you a McFlurry straw.
Oh my god, that's a great idea. If you're Kanye West, that is. Tuscany's wine windows are reopening back up so people can get drinks and gelato from a distance. So check this out, Sean. I don't know if you knew, in Italy, they have these little windows. They sell you kind of like a tasting per se, right? Instead of going into the vineyards yourself, they have this little tasting one. So now they reopened it, and they just a hand sticks out with your order. Be like, here you go. Here's your beverage or your gelato, so they can keep the business afloat. There's a strong, and I mean a strong, wine industry to keep everything in its place. Because if we lose the wine, it won't be a good day for everybody. Wines are such a big thing of food, so obviously we have to. What's that word? We have to adjust to current standards. So that's what they're doing. So shout out to Italy and everybody else. France also.
Shout
really
out to the prototype drive-through wine. Like we don't even have those here.
No. This is so
that
old
is
school.
Amazing.
This is old school shit.
That is amazing, and I love the brickwork for that photo. Like, look at that. It's so.
That's real, dude. That's like
so interesting. It's like impersonal, but like it's so personal. It's like a really intimate act. Like this.
Early 20th century.
Wow.
These were made, Sean. Early 20th century. That is that's a while. It stood its time. The builders back then. It probably has asbestos, but nobody cares about that.
If someone handed you a glass of Coca-Cola through a hole in the wall, would you drink it?
I would.
You wouldn't, but like that's.
Oh, thank you for the Coke.
It's a takeout window. It's a takeout window. Like, what am I talking about? It's just a takeout window.
Sean, quick question for you. Do you know what keto is?
I do, but explain it to the people.
It's Atkins. That's literally all it is. They just rebranded the name. It just sounds better. If you guys can remember, in the mid-90s, the Atkins diet. Atkins this, Atkins that. It's the same thing. That's what keto is. But Costco sells keto-friendly breakfast sandwiches that are so easy to prepare. They call this the egg witch. Turkey and sausage. 17 grams of protein, though, Sean. Are you a breakfast person? And this is for $12.99.
Not really. Like, not really. And that's just bad habits for myself. Like, I mean, I'll eat some dry cereal for breakfast on occasion, but more often than not, like, I don't really get hungry until lunchtime.
That's okay. Chicago tourists are ignoring coronavirus travel rules to eat deep dish pizza. People, again, please, just be wary. I know it's such a. It looks delicious as hell, actually.
That looks like lasagna soup, but it looks pretty tempting.
Yeah, tourists visiting Chicago from out of state are violating the city's quarantine order implemented during the COVID-19 outbreak in order to visit attractions and get deep dish pizza, according to a local report. I mean, if it looked like that and it smelled like that, I might break a couple of times, but like, this looks like I'm gonna go to the bathroom in the next 10 minutes. I can't have cheese, Sean. Oh, I had cheese today. I know, quick tangent. I wanted to try our Gouda because it's, A grade.
Was it Gouda?
Oh, it was Greta, actually. I was gonna go there.
Okay.
But in about 5 minutes, I'm like, Chef, I'll be right back. Can't do it. It was so good though, Sean. It was like ice cream, but it was deliciously salty. Oh my god. Anyway, let's keep on going. The Elf Icy flavor is back at Target cafes already, so I guess it's Christmas time.
Interesting. Wow.
My wife goes to Target a lot, so I'm assuming you can find these now at Target. But I'm not one to do ices though. Do you freaking on ices? This is like a 7-Eleven thing, like the little slushy things.
It's one of those things where like I don't go out of my way to get it, but if I was hanging out with some people who are like, we're gonna go get some ices, I'll do it.
No, but
I'm cherry lime.
I remember when you were young, like
it's pretty good.
We stopped at a 7-Eleven. I mean, I always got into little quarter drinks. Like I never. It's not like people always go for the slushes. I'm like, nah, I'm good. That's too much cold for me. Like just the quarter things would be great. But this one out in the city, even though there's a 7-Eleven right here, I never really. I don't know. I mean, it looks okay.
And that's the thing too. Like growing up, we didn't have 7-Elevens really in the city like you guys do, and we have now. So slushies weren't really a thing, and Slurpees weren't really a thing. but every pizza store had Italian ices.
That's true.
So that's what
That
I
is
think
true.
of when I'm talking ices. Or if you went to the bodega and just got like the little frozen ices, the icy sticks.
Items sold at Walmart and Kroger have been recalled over salmonella fears linked to onions. Okay, again, not to alarm you so
California.
much in California. Sean, how does cross-contamination work?
Well, in a lot of different ways. Seems like a pretty open question. I mean,
In terms of food, so this is a vegetable that's in the ground. How did it get salmonella? Salmonella is only, getting from like chickens, right? How does
Right.
that? How did the chicken spit at it? How did that transfer over, Sean?
that could be a lot of different ways, man. I mean, it could be transporting these things in the improper ways. I mean, it could be a mix of livestock and produce, at production factories, even though that shouldn't really be a thing. But more often than not, I mean, human beings are the culprit.
Usually, it's the mishandling of food. Most times, though, it's not like maybe some of the older facilities. Maybe somebody forgot to just separate the thing like another 20 feet. That's literally all it takes for the produce to get it cross-contaminated with the other proteins, which are like chickens or beef or pork or whatever. Just within that time, not time frame, but that the space allotted. If you just break that ever so slightly, that's the event that you can get from these. Even though if you cook this, technically it's okay, because it will kill the salmonella bacteria, but you don't want to take a chance altogether. So if you had some items, or rather onions that you bought from Walmart and Kroger, please be wary. Throw them out. Not too crazy. They're fairly cheap.
That's it. Toss them.
They're like $1.20 per pound. That's okay. You can get another $1.20, but just make sure they're not from Walmart or Kroger's. Only a few more, Sean. A couple other things. Recommended change to the dietary guidelines and what they mean for you. This is after COVID. There's some overthinks because people have been sitting on their ass. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. People have been eating a lot more that they shouldn't have.
Sure.
Because they can.
Yeah, and eating a lot of and not balancing their meals.
Correct. There's a lot of other things now. Now they switched it out in 2015 to 2020. The world has told that between 2020 and 2025, for the first time, include recommendations for infants 0 to 24 months, as well as pregnant and breastfeeding women, just to help to reduce several chronic diseases. So I'll link this down below. There's so much good information on this. You want to consume less alcohol. The recent study has shown maybe 1 per drink is pretty much all you'll need to keep you afloat. But we all know those people. I'm winking right at you, okay, Connor. But I'm not gonna say any words. I know this is a tried and true for you, Sean. The New York City cult favorite Le Bon bakery cookies are heading to supermarkets. This is like the infamous chewy, crunchy. It's like this big a fucking cookie. How do you feel about this going to superstores though? If you've never been, it's in the Upper West Side, by the way.
I'm with it. I mean, obviously it's not going to be as good as getting them fresh baked, but people should be able to experience these. So I'm for it.
Yeah, they were such a. It's still a cult classic. There's still lines outside the door. If you guys live in the tri-state area, go up to the Upper West Side on a 74th Street, right there in the corner. You'll see this bakery. You can't miss it. You literally can't miss it. The smell will be there, and there's lines out there. Obviously, it's COVID right now. There's no lines, but this would be where the spot is. So they are implementing oh, look at that delicious thing. I can't consume it, man. Sean.
I know.
Look at that. I'm allergic. I cannot do it.
Man, that is.
But it looks so good.
Something.
Yeah. All right. One more, and then we'll call it a Cheetos now make mac and cheese. And here's how it says, Sean. How do you feel about this?
I feel like this is why the American empire is going to crumble.
Bold and cheesy jalapeno, and flaming hot mac and cheese. I mean, I'll try it, but it's probably pretty bad for you. Sean is speechless right now. Oh, it's okay, Sean. It's okay.
They should. Okay, all right. So here's
in.
my thing, and again, I am not looking at a box of these Cheetos. I don't have them in my hands. Is the Cheeto dust actually made from cheese? Like, I would respect it more if it was just called Mac and Cheetos.
Okay, maybe a rebranding of the name instead of
Then it is what it is, right? Like, it is what it is.
Got it. Usually the cheese that's used in any of those products like Doritos or whatever cheesy kind of goodness, it's the processed milk whey that's flavored to be cheese, and it's a different product, different byproduct. It's still milk technically, and it's flavored to taste like those flavors, but it's not technically. If you got like Parmesan and you grated it and then that's what you put into your chip, that's not the same thing.
Nah.
So, but technicality wise, it is cheese, but just a different form. But I know that's all we got on food news. Like I mentioned, we are live on YouTube. We're live right now on a Saturday, actually. You can tweet at Sean Metrocard X and any other questions down below. However, Sean, can I ask you, in lieu of summer closing, and that's a thing now. In about just a few more weeks or 4 more weeks, summer is pretty much over. Give me one summer dish that you would like to make if you were back in the restaurant. I'll tell you what I made the other day, and chef kind of got blown. His head kind of got blown away.
If I were in the restaurant right now. Okay, so and this wouldn't even be something. I'm just thinking of like something that like I could cook, but even though I probably wouldn't eat it. Okay. What I would like to produce would have been some grilled calamari with our like Mediterranean orzo pasta. Just because it's light. I think our marinade is pretty good. Some grilled onions as well. Like, it's not heavy, and it's definitely something that most people are not producing in their homes. Again, like, I haven't made this in months, but if I were just thinking about something that we would be making, and even the thing is like it's not really on the menu. Correct. So the only people who ask for it kind of just know, like they've been with us for a while, or they're trusting that we can get it and we can execute it. So yeah, that would be something that I would like to cook, just because I have not touched calamari in months. Just for people's sake, it's just calamari, 8 ounces or whatever the portion is. Go into a vinaigrette that's grilled, salt and pepper, and then on top of an orzo salad. Just whatever kind of orzo salad that you can think of, and then served nice and just like that. It is quite a tasty dish. I do remember that dish. Garnished with a little some parsley, a little wedge of lemon on the side. Again, it's light, and I think it sets, usually we would be selling it as like an appetizer, and it sets you up for the rest of what like the restaurant can execute. So it's special menu. The special menu. So can't tell you where Sean works, but if you guys know where he works, order the orzo salad. The one I made at the restaurant, it's a tried and true Asian accoutrement that actually goes out on every meal. It's pickled radishes. So we had some excess daikons and radishes that were kind of sitting. So I made the pickled radish, daikon, and cucumbers. Stupid simple, but I didn't have. I didn't have my equipment here at the house at the restaurant. It usually gets
The Szechuan peppercorns, I didn't have that over there, so I had to make do. So
Okay.
a little bit of sriracha, a little bit of honey, red wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar. Heat that all up, not to boiling, but just to simmer where you see little bubbles come up. Chop all of your ingredients pretty fine, so they're not paper thin, but just a little thicker than that. Put it all into a bowl, dump that entire thing over and cover it. Let that sit for 20 minutes, and then here's the kicker. Put it in whatever container, typically like a 9-pan or a 6-pan, which are like steel little containers, right? And then stick that in the freezer. 20
Right.
minutes.
I was gonna say you need to get that cool.
Stick that in the freezer. Just make it oh so delicious. Once it wilts, then serve it on top of rice. So that's what I was eating the other day, and he goes, "Are those pickled radishes?" I was like, "Yeah, I just made it like half an hour ago." He takes a taste. He's like, "Wow, you're really Asian." I was like, "I don't know if you can tell. My eyes are kind of slant. You know, my skin's kind of yellow. So yeah, that's an Asian. But you know, obviously it's too complicated for what we do. It's literally like 20 items in that one thing. There's a lot of other sauces that kind of go on top of it. But yeah, that's I was like, this is what I could bring to the table: pickled radishes. If you ever should so eat it. Oh,
Again, man. If you know, you know.
if you know, you know. They wanted a peanut sauce. Chef was
Okay.
like, because we're making satays. He's like, oh man, I need a peanut sauce, and he just kind of just said that. I'm like, you realize Asian, right here. You want me to bang you out a peanut sauce like 2 seconds?
Give me that Robo Cool. Let's get
Literally
it going.
2 seconds. He was like, yeah, make me one. I was like, I said this to my wife. I was like, here's what I told Chef. From the scale of Asian to white, this will come out for a little racist and it'll be a little funny to you. Asian to white, how do you want it? He goes 8.5. And I'm like, okay. So I went towards white a little more because we're feeding like 17, 20-year-olds. You can't go too spicy.
Sure.
You just want to make sure it's flavorful and it's a little sweet. So instead of adding 20 ingredients in this peanut sauce, which would typically made of satay, I just made it with soy sauce, Worcestershire, honey, just a smidget of sriracha. That's it. Mixed up. I put it into Roboku so the peanuts will do its thing once it gets salted. But the whole trick to this is you need hot water to kind of melt it a little together.
Right.
And that's it. That was it. And he tasted it. He was like, wow, what did you put in it? I was like, well, you told me 8.5, so I made it more white than Asian.
Sure.
If I made it Asian, you'd be like, that's a little too much. But yeah, so that's it. Not too crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in. Again, we are live every week. You can check out all the episodes here in Chef Salty Pork on YouTube. Sean's Twitter's right here, Metro Cardax. Make sure you tweet him. He does reply
Hit me
back.
up.
And any
I
other
do.
emails or any other questions that you'd like us to cover, AskChefSalty@gmail.com. Sean, why don't you head him out with a word of the day if you don't mind? Just
man.
Just one word.
Summer's wrapping up. Hopefully you were able to take some time for yourself. But also, man, I feel like I say this all the time, but it's truer more now than ever. Like, take some time, spend it with your family. Like, figure out where you're going. Make sure you got your masks, something interesting to eat as a destination or for the journey. But spend some time with your folks, man. Like, tomorrow is not promised. You know, we got a lot of work to do for things to be back the way that they were. And maybe they won't ever be that way. But between now and then, make sure that you're taking time to spend with your family, man. Again, we got a few more weeks of long summer days. And after that, you know, Papa Pumpkin Spice will be delivering fall leaves and twigs and branches to, you know, signal that the seasons have truly changed. But again, between now and then, try to spend some time with your family. So that's what I got.
Cool. Other than that, folks, be safe. Wear a mask, like Sean said. Get some sleep. Okay. And other than that,
Peace out, man.